Of KTN News Desk. My name is Edith Kimani. We're glad you could make time to be with us. This afternoon, we have new details of what happened to the late Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo. We'll also be telling you why it's so crucial for journalists to be watching this particular bulletin. Stay tuned. Well, yesterday the country went into shock, and particularly the residents of Busia following the security situation there. This afternoon we have all the details, and that marks our developing story for this afternoon. Well, senior police officers from Nairobi are visiting parts of Busia and Bungoma as well to assess the security situation following the recent attacks in the area that left at least 4 people dead. Now, the officers led by Deputy Inspector General of Police Grace Kaindi, AP's Deputy Samuel Arachi, and CID Director Ndegwa Muhoro are expected to hold meetings with local leaders and security teams on how to restore order and also prevent future attacks. Betty Kialo has the details.
Following the deadly attacks that have shattered lives and left hundreds living in fear, top police chiefs are visiting Bungoma and Busia counties to investigate the cause of the violence that has now bedeviled the region. Led by Deputy Inspector General of Police Grace Kaindi, AP's Deputy Samuel Arachi, and CID Director Ndegwa Muhoro, the officers are expected to hold meetings with local leaders and area police to investigate the attacks. Latest figures show that more than 130 people have been critically injured, with 4 people having lost their lives. Reports reaching KTN indicate that there is a special police squad of investigators that has already been dispatched to the area. While visiting the injured in Busia District Hospital, local leaders led by Busia Governor Sospita Ojamong demanded immediate investigations and intervention in putting those responsible behind bars. The latest attack was reported on Tuesday night when a gang of 25 people raided Akobwait, Segero and Benga villages in Tessa District, Busia County, killing 4 people and injuring 20 more. Residents were quick to blame area police for slow reaction every time they raise alarm during the attacks. For KTN, I'm Betty Kialo.
A story that no doubt is of interest to the whole nation. We're keeping an eye on it and will bring you continuous updates when they do happen. Now to the latest on the late Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo's death. And reports are emerging that the government team that was conducting the autopsy on the body of Mutula has refused to have the samples taken to the United Kingdom for analysis. Now, this as the family of the late Makueni Senator is reported to be in a dispute over where he should be buried on Thursday the 9th. Angel Katusia reports.
Investigations into the mysterious death of Makueni Senator Mutula Kilonzo are ongoing. Already police have recorded statements from over a dozen people who may have interacted with the late senator before his body was recovered in his bedroom in his Manzoni home. A team of 7 pathologists, among them a Briton who was hired to perform independent examination on the body, took 52 samples from the body on Wednesday, which are to undergo scientific analysis. A source close to the team of pathologists claimed there were traces of poison on the late Mutula's liver. The source also says the government side is not cooperating fully, as it has refused to release the samples to be taken to the United Kingdom for the testing. Meanwhile, 9th of May, the date set by the burial committee to lay the late Senator Mutula Kilonzo to rest, is fast approaching, but it is now emerging that there is a family dispute over exactly where Mutula would be laid to rest. Mutula's family yesterday held a meeting at his home in Kwachelu Range in Manzoni to try and sort out the dispute. Sources close to the family indicate Mutula's current wife is insisting that he should be buried at Manzoni, as this is is the home he had been living. However, other relatives from Utangwa in Mbooni say Mutula should be buried at his home in Mbooni, where his late parents were laid to rest. Efforts are, however, underway to trace Mutula's will to confirm whether he may have indicated where he would want to be laid to rest. Angel Katuse, KTN Live at 1.
Elsewhere, almost 2,000 people have been marooned in the Tana Delta following heavy downpour in the area last night. The ongoing rains have submerged 4 villages, with the flood situation expected to worsen. Areas that have been worst hit by the floods include Bura and Hola, where floods have cut off the roads, and what this is doing is isolating the residents. Most of those trapped are women and children. Now, the Kenya Red Cross has put the number of people displaced by floods in Tana, and this is just in the past 1 week, at 50,000, with approximately 6,000 households losing their homes in Bura and Hola alone. More than 3,668 bags of contaminated maize have been seized in Thika at the National Cereals and Produce Board Granary. The maize is suspected to contain the deadly aflatoxin. Public health officers from Thika who inspected the maize have cautioned the Cereals Board management against selling or even releasing the maize for human consumption. Samples of the maize have been taken to the government chemist for analysis, and investigations are, however, underway to establish whether the maize could have found its way into the shops. The Kenya Wildlife Service has embarked on a tree planting exercise, and this is to restore depleted parts of the Aberdare forest. The country marked Labor Day yesterday. KWS rallied together hundreds of conservationists and hoteliers to plant 20,000 trees in the Aberdares. KTN's Asha Mwilu reports. All right, we'll have that story for you shortly. But in Mombasa, there's a bizarre story of a cat that has been trapped in a jerrycan. The only problem is the residents of that area don't want to touch it. They say that it could be something other than a cat. Ferdinand Omondi has the details. I'm not a cat person, but that kitten really breaks my heart. They should just let it go. But let's go back to the story of the Kenya Wildlife Service. And remember, it has embarked on a tree planting exercise, and they say it's to restore depleted parts of the Aberdare forest. As the country marked Labor Day yesterday, KWS managed to rally together hundreds of conservationists and hoteliers to plant 20,000 trees in the Aberdares. And KTN's Asha Mwilu has the details. Okay, as we wait for that story to be ready, Wilkis Tanyabwa is currently standing by. She's at the Kenyatta International Conference Center, where a journalist convention is currently taking place. Wilkis, what are the latest details?
Good afternoon, Edith. Now we are coming to you live from Kenyatta International Conference Center, where only a few minutes ago, about 20 minutes ago, President Uhuru Kenyatta presided over the opening ceremony of a regional convention that comes under World Press Freedom Day celebrations, as the world indeed celebrates this, the 20th anniversary of World Press Freedom Day. And one of the things that happened here is that stakeholders gathered here from across the world to discuss different issues that are important at this point in time. And we will just look at a little excerpt from some of the issues that they discussed earlier today.
The situation that we have now with just 2 digital distributors, the Pan-African Group from China and Signet, is really not tenable, because effectively it has locked out the local media industry that employs thousands of Kenyans and that has invested billions of shillings in infrastructure. And it's a topic, Your Excellency, we would wish to ask your government to revisit, and we will be requesting to visit you soon to discuss modalities of how we as the local media industry can be involved in that very, very critical aspect of the industry going forward.
Indeed, we have put two options on the table. One is to either take the major shareholding in Signet, or the other is to come together as a group and form one company that would own the third license for digital broadcasting.
Furthermore, my government will pursue and enact policies, initiatives, and programs to empower the media sector. These will include the establishment of a level playing field for all media stakeholders, including the public broadcaster. For my government, the media is too important a sector to be left to any one dominant player. Instead, we will encourage and actively seek to ensure diversity and plurality in the industry.
The first speaker on that clip, Joseph Odindo, the Media Council of Kenya chairman, bringing to the fore and really highlighting one of the issues that was discussed at the convention, and this is the fact that the country currently has two licensed signal distributors, and stakeholders in the industry simply saying that since the law allows for a third signal distributor, that the country should look towards having a third signal distributor in order to level the playing field, so to speak. And President Uhuru Kenyatta, in his speech addressing this, saying that the country is working towards not just upholding press freedoms, also trying to see that there is a level playing field so that one does not feel as if they have a leg up on the other, so to speak. And this is one of the issues that were discussed this year. The theme is looking towards the safety and the security and the protection of journalists, as it is reported that across the world journalists are being attacked, journalists have been killed and arrested in the line of duty, and this is something that each country will be seeking to address as the world marks World Press Freedom Day. The highlight of the convention will be the Media Awards, the Media Council Awards that will be marked tomorrow evening. There will be a gala and winners will be announced, and some of KTN's finest also nominated for this. So we are waiting to see how this will turn out. Back to you in studio, Edith.
All right, thank you very much, Wilkista Nyabwa, coming to us live from KICC with just a few details of what happened at the Journalist Convention. Of course, more details will be following in subsequent bulletins. But elsewhere, President Uhuru's directive that 30% of all government tenders be reserved for women, youth, and SMEs has energized players in the business world. Stakeholders are now holding training sessions to equip these groups with the requisite legal and also financial information needed to exploit the 300 billion shilling opportunity. They are also urging relevant government bodies to entrench this preference and reservation scheme so as to catalyze the country's development agenda.
We're anticipating that the budget will be 1.8 trillion. Can you imagine what we're talking about? 1.8 trillion, they just sound like numbers, which means that for the youth, the procurement spend will be 1 trillion. Of which 30% of 1 trillion belongs to you. If it is well directed, it can drive economic growth through greater youth participation in public procurement. This opportunity can cause a positive ripple effect and create an economic bushfire and growth revolution unparalleled anywhere else in Africa.
All right, let's take a short commercial break. When we come back, we have all the business news, the sports, and a return of World in Pictures. Stay tuned.
Did you know? In our endeavor to help you attain your dreams, we are enabling you to top up your contributions. As an employee, you can ask your employer to increase the amount of your remittances starting from 100 shillings per month. If you are self-employed, you can increase your monthly contributions to the amount you desire. Visit our website for details.
Dad, I am now ready to walk in your footsteps.
NSSF, growing you for good.
Tell me who sent you. And this is yours.
Cheki matutudu hivi cheki tudu hivi sawa tuchukue do sawa tushie pale kwa bonnet tuchukue mkoka fiti hapo anaipa kuna do njugu na kasoda walai.
Oh, so explain it to me, Eddie. Why did you choose the last minute to change your mind? You know, if you didn't love me or want me, it's as simple as saying, Nikki, this isn't working out. Instead of letting me embarrass myself trying to plan a future for us.
It has come to my attention that stock has been missing in this store. And that only means one thing. That party A or party B is a thief.
The fragrance is so good. It lasts and lasts and lasts. Sunlight 2-in-1. Smell the clean all day.
Thank you for staying with KTN News Desk. Let's have a look at the business news. And President Uhuru Kenyatta's announcement of a 14% wage increment has left a bitter taste in the mouths of many local industries that are already grappling with the high cost of operations. In the past, such increments have received numerous sentiments from investors who have expressed their dissatisfaction, citing that it has also seen many companies shut down their operations due to the high cost of doing business in the country. Now, according to KAM chairperson Polycarp Igade, increments that are not based on productivity will always have negative effects on the citizens who will be forced to pay more for goods, and which also affects the competitiveness of Kenyan goods on the international market. Now, manufacturers are calling for consultation between the government and the industry before the announcement of such things, so that they can, which have potential to cripple local industries. The Manufacturing Association has, however, pointed out the need for huge capital investments to fully support mechanization. From the business, we go straight to sports. And our first story this afternoon involves German teams, and it will surely be an all-German clubs during this year's UEFA's Club Champions League final at the Wembley on May 25th. That after Bayern Munich tore Spanish giants into pieces in the return leg last night to advance 7-0 on aggregate. Now Bayern joined fellow Bundesliga side Borussia Dortmund, who eliminated Real Madrid 4-3 on aggregate on Tuesday night.
An injury-time free kick from David Luiz saw Chelsea win the first leg 2-1, handing them the initiative as they strive to become the first club to win the Champions League and Europa League in successive seasons. Victor Moses had put the London side ahead early in the first half from a Frank Lampard corner. Basel beat Tottenham Hotspur on penalties to reach the final four of the tournament. Manchester United of the last 2 seasons, indicating that they pose a stern challenge that many might anticipate. Rafael Benitez's side have failed to keep a clean sheet in their last 11 European matches and have a packed fixture list as the season draws to a close with crucial Premier League games against Manchester United and Spurs. Ashley Cole missed the game with Basel after receiving a yellow card for time wasting in the first leg, leaving under 20.
Chelsea interim manager Rafael Benitez has chosen to concentrate on the Europa League semi-final return leg against Basel tonight, and that shift focus on talk that former Blues manager Jose Mourinho is set to replace him at the end of the season. Now, Benitez says the match against Basel is what occupies his mind now, since he knows the 2-1 lead they hold is not safe enough to steer them to the final. Now, Chelsea will be without suspended left back Ashley Cole for the second leg. Ryan Bartrand, 23, is likely to start in Cole's place, but he joins David Luiz, Ramirez and John Michelobi in being one booking away from missing the final in Amsterdam on 15th May. South Africa's Springboks 7 says they are looking forward to their Pool A match against Kenya during the weekend's Glasgow Sevens in Scotland, the penultimate leg of the IRB World Series. Now, the Boks, who are second in the world standings with 100 points, are in Pool A with Kenya, Samoa and Canada. South Africa won the fifth leg in the United States and Japan Sevens main cup and are looking forward to adding another victory in Glasgow. Kenya, in her part, has crossed the main cup quarters on 4 occasions this season, and a good show in Glasgow will surely have added points to the tally heading to the final in London next week. Kenya and South Africa open Pool A fixtures on Saturday afternoon, and we will certainly be looking to see what happens with regard to that. And that's our sports stories this afternoon. And that's also where we wind up this edition of KTN News Desk. Thank you for your viewership. We hope to see you again tomorrow, same time, same place. I'm Edith Kimani. Good afternoon.